Well, hello, David. And today we're talking with David Eisenbacher, who is the co-founder of a company, EZDRM, located in the United States. And David, hello, and maybe you can tell more about yourself and your previous experience and why did you create this company, EZDRM?
Sure. Yes, good morning. Yes, I'm David Eisenbacher. I'm co-founder and CEO of EZDRM. We are a hosted managed digital rights management platform. And all that is in a nutshell is DRM is not our customer's business. Their content is their business. Their user experience, their portal is their business. But DRM is a necessity of that because they want to secure their content. They want to secure their revenue. And they spend money on acquiring new customers. They spend money and time on retaining those customers. And by ensuring that their content is secure, ensures that a customer who may sign up, doesn't after a few days leave their service and because they find their content, someplace else for either free or a pirate site that's charging them, a smaller amount of money. So we do this DRM as a service to allow them to protect their revenue, their content, and allow them to grow because DRM itself isn't their business.
Yeah. And how to make choice if, let's say, I'm an owner of TV platform or an owner of telco, which has TV platform, how can I make a choice of DRM vendor? On what should I look, what should I assess?
Sure. So we are a large believer of open standards. So we don't do anything that's going to lock you in. We are an SDK-less environment, and we work with the standards that have been created over the years for key exchanges using CPIX and Speak, for encoding and packaging technologies with CBCS encryption and CMAF outputs, for player integration, following the EME spec, as well as native app support. So the idea is not to lock our customers into our solution because we believe in a multi-vendor solution. We actually want them to pick what is their best packaging and as well as transcoding. What's their best player? If they're making it themselves or if they're also buying something off the shelf. So by allowing them to utilize the best components for their business requirements on following open standards, not being locked into SDKs, allows them to actually launch, get to market faster, as well as their business changes, they can change out certain components and not have to reinvent everything.
And do you have any statistics? When companies come to you, when they have already some problems with their security, let's say content is stolen or something else, or they don't have any problems yet and they come to you at this stage?
So basically, we're usually either at the very start of their business process because they already are in the process of going through contracts with contract owners, like the studios, and a lot of times we have to help them with those contracts on filling out how certain bit rates, basically are allowed on web versus 4K, based on what DRM encryptions they actually need it, yeah. Or we're brought in after they've already launched. Maybe at first they were doing content that wasn't as valuable to them. They thought so, but then they see that their content is showing up elsewhere, and all that time and money spent on that user acquisition, on the user retention, is being lost, and that's lost right off the top. So therefore, they usually come to us and say, okay, here's what we have in place. How can we add DRM without changing what we've already built?
And how many years does the company exist?
Yeah, so we founded EZDRM in January 2003. So we're going soon on our 20-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And how did, so you already exist for almost 20 years. And how did the landscape change? How did your clients change during this
Sure.
time?
So in the early 2000s, it was very simple. There was one technology. It was Windows Media DRM.
Yeah.
It worked on PC and Mac. You know, we had to worry about mobile. I mean, smart TVs weren't really there. So basically, it was very simple. It worked well. We did a lot of business on music and on initial online streaming, and then you know, in the teen years, you know, like any adolescent, you know, there was a massive sprawl. There was every DRM on the market. There was Adobe. There was Real Networks. You know, they had Helix. There was still PlayReady. Widevine was coming out at that point in time with their with their own proprietary solution. There was even a DRM by Oracle called Dream. So everything got fragmented. And off of that fragmentation, also the protocols. There was, I mean, still flat files because people were doing like a progressive download. There was Adobe Media Servers, HDS. There was smooth streaming. There was HLS. There was, Real Networks had a little flavor as well. So basically, everyone was trying to make the special sauce. And everyone was making everything that was locked in, proprietary, and therefore you had to have your content in so many different formats. And basically as an industry, we determined that's not sustainable because it's not about the format per se. It's not about A versus B. It's about content viewership. It's making sure that that end consumer can view their content. If it comes over, XYZ protocol, they don't care. The business owner, that website, they don't care either. All they want to do is they want to work and work well. And this is where a lot of standards start to happen. MPEG- came out in 2017, 2018, or I don't know, like 16 probably. Basically common encryption standards. So therefore, it was determined it's not so much, doing things in a lockdown fashion. It's about interoperability. It's about making sure the content is viewable, it's secured, and that really that end consumer has no idea that security is even there because they're able to play it back where they want to play it back regardless.
Yeah. And how do you think, why do we have now this new trend as a service? Now we have DRM as a service, CDN as a service, pay TV as a service, everything as a service.
Yes.
Why?
Well, why? Because again, a lot of these parts of the ecosystem, this large media platform, you don't need to do a homegrown built solution. Content and user experience is the customer's business model. They care about the content, they care about acquiring users, they care about the user experience and retention. They use cloud services for their transcoding and packaging with AWS or Azure or Harmonic 360. They use all kinds of external services as an operational cost, as opposed to a upfront CapEx where they have to build it. And the problem is if you build everything from scratch, on day one, it's fine, but now that day two happens when you have to worry about upgrades, new technology, changes. That means now you're supporting several systems. I mean, some legacy, some new. And again, that's not their business. I mean, their business is the content and experience. So the as a service model isn't really new. Back in the day, it was called application service providers. This idea of a hosted manner was there for years. It's changed different names. It's changed different approaches as technology evolved. But the OpEx model was always there in some form over the years.
And in which country EZDRM works? In which country?
So basically, we have servers in basically every geo. We have customers in every geo, and we have viewers in every geo. Now I say that except Antarctica. We have yet to have a viewer in Antarctica. So we're on 6 of the 7 continents. And
are there any differences in terms of DRM, maybe management or problems, if we speak about different regions of the world?
So basically, one of the things that we've start offering now is something called Wise Play, and Wise Play is via Huawei. Because of political climates, Huawei as a company can't offer their products and services in certain countries because that's a political issue, right? And therefore, over the years, they've been using wideband on their devices because they're kind of Android based. Well, they had to drop that because they can no longer sustain that going forward. They're basically the largest device manufacturer in the world, and therefore they have come out with a DRM standard that they're using called Wise Play, but they follow the industry spec. It's still common encryption. It's still MPEG-, HLS, and CMAF based. So therefore, as a service offerer, as well as a end consumer, it doesn't impact them. Basically, there's not going to be a proprietary protocol. It still follows common encryption. So as new DRMs, over the years will probably pop up and change, the following of the open standards is what's key about them.
And what are your main competitors? Who are they?
So we have a few of them, and basically how we are different is, again, we believe in a multi-vendor solution. I don't want to be your transcoder, your player, your CMS, your everything. There are many companies who will do those services better. AWS, Azure, TEM, Harmonic, Wowza. There's all kinds of streaming servers out there, and that's its own business. There's all kinds of players out there, Bitmoven, Theo, homegrown applications, basically all that kind of stuff. We don't want to be a player company. We actually want to work with both of those sides, following the standards. Our approach to everything is easy. The idea is to not keep DRM this black box to where we can overcharge you for it. There are companies who will upcharge on everything. They're like, well, now you want to do 500 500 requests per second or 1,000 requests per second, and they'll charge you more and more as your requests go up. They'll charge you for offline keys or online keys. To us, your business didn't make money unless you get playback. So our business model is around that final transaction, that DRM license being issued to allow playback. If you're saying, no, this is not about request, then no, we don't actually charge you for that. We actually work with our clients to figure out what's a pricing model for them. Some we do fixed costs because they know what their volume is, and it's a lot easier for their OpEx budget to say, here's my cost per month, it's fixed. Others we do per sub because there are, because at the end of the day, their business model is around their subscribers. Others, like a free-to-air service or something like that, we do volume-based licensing, but we try to make sure that the price of DRM, the price of content security, shouldn't make or break your business. It shouldn't be something that you have to, determine as a cost that makes it prohibitive. It's like, we all have, things that we do for security. We lock our cars, we lock our doors, we may have alarm systems, and same things about security as well. There are multiple layers to DRM. DRM is not just one lock, it's multiple layers of security to use it effectively. And therefore, all those layers shouldn't be draining a budget.
And so your company exists for 20 years. And could you please tell me about your business development now? Because I assume a lot of players already know you, your company. And so when you exist for 20 years, what does it look like to develop the business in terms of sales and business development?
Yeah, so basically we believe in that multi-vendor approach, and therefore as our current partners and basically new partners have a new way of doing something, then basically we actually want to be a part of that, because basically our clients are always looking for a better way. a better way for transcoding, a better way for key management, a better way for playback. And we're always trying to fine tune our services, as well as our integrations with our partners, as well as our partners come out with new technologies. We are now part of something called the ATSP Alliance. It's a new approach on how to do ultra low latency, because as we get more connected, we all want that better real-time experience. We actually want to feel like we're actually at the stadium and not at home on our couch. So therefore, that lower latency, that lower buffering and first frame and experience as I'm going from camera A to camera B. So initially, it's like, all the businesses, want to go online, and they have their content, and it was VOD, and it played, right? And now if that happened, now people want live. Now people want live, now they want faster live. And basically everything's about fine tuning that user experience. And every year we're all working together to make that user experience better.
Yes. And you have been on IBC recently, right?
Yes, yeah, we were just out in IBC a few weeks ago. It was a great event.
And what trends did you detect or notice on IBC? Maybe in comparison with previous years, maybe something has changed.
So, again, I'm going to say the industry as a whole is coming together around standards. No one wants to say, well, here's my proprietary solution and it's the best across the board, because it will not always be the best. There's always something that you can change and tweak. So therefore, I saw a lot more at IBC about how things can interrupt, in a workflow. And then, again, the major trend now is faster first frame, faster experiences, changing cameras to really allow you to be immersed in your media. Basically, you're not just taking one view of the game anymore. Now you can be like, at actual stadium and see different angles and change it to a way that you like to view it.
And let's say if you had 100 billion euro or dollars to invest into something, not in DRM, you already have DRM company, but in something related to pay video, digital video, into which technologies would you have invested?
So back then they take the security out of it, because we are working on a few projects around security, but what would I do as a brand new business, as seeing what I've seen? Again, it comes down to that user experience. It comes back to knowing your user.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to worry about privacy laws and making sure that data doesn't get out there. But knowing your users' likes, tailoring that experience. Basically, saying that John usually likes watching camera 4 and camera 3, so that's what we're going to initially give him on his login, as opposed to camera 1 being default. These minor tweaks to that user experience, the technology around that, basically the collecting the data and mining the data to basically add a little detail, because the difference between $100,000 house and $1 million house, yes, the size is one thing, but it's really the details. Everything that we like in life comes down to the small details that makes it feel like it's truly ours.
Yes. And can you tell an interesting use case, if you look back to 20 years of experience in this company, maybe you have had an interesting dramatic use case when client came to you, you had some problems and you solved the problem, something like that?
Yeah, so basically, content theft, is one of the major problems we see, but we also see problems around, integration times to launch their next product line. So basically, we again try to take, a very easy approach. We are very build it before you sell it. We want to make sure that things work and not turn a client to a guinea pig. We've seen a lot of competitors, turn that first user or that first client into a guinea pig to where they have longer dev cycles, they have longer time to market, and they have more things to work out. So we try to work with our partners to make sure that the solution we're presenting has been vetted, has been truly tested, stress tested, and is, allows our clients to get a little bit more assurance out of the gate, as opposed to, yeah, we had some bad experiences with, other providers, everything else. Basically one of the largest things that we've actually heard from our clients is they had to unlearn DRM to relearn it, because there was so many SDKs, and as well as so many approaches that they were told that they had to adopt, as opposed to saying, no, there are standards, it should just work. And we show them how to make it just work.
And if a company is located in Europe, should it choose a DRM vendor from Europe, or it can be Australia or Asia or United States?
So basically, at the end of the day, our company is headquartered in the States, but we have clients in Europe. We have many clients in Europe. We have services and servers that run in AWS and Azure in Europe. Basically, so as the world is connected, as there is a global economy, where the true headquarters at shouldn't be so much the driving point, because that could, gets all fixed during the contracts and commercials, where that happens. But really, as long as the service to your end customer, that end viewer, is as fast as it can be, that's what should be the driving force around the people you pick.
And what are the current challenges for you in your business, in developing your business?
Okay. The first one is about education. Everyone sees DRM as this huge cost with this little return on value. And it's not so much about, quote unquote, return on value. It's about stopping that loss of value. If you're losing 20 to 25% off the top of your spend because you are losing users, that means all that money that was spent to acquire those users and on that content and on that distribution is now lost. So it's about that user retention. It's about that revenue retention.
Yeah.
That really this is about, and showing them how it can be done without changing their entire workflow, without changing their user experience, and without this huge cost around it, to add basically to actually give their business more of a safe feeling as they're growing their subscribers, as they're growing their business into other markets. And they want to make sure that they're not growing but losing at the same time.
And so yes, I know there is a huge problem of customer churn now because of huge competition, etc. But in terms of DRM, how does DRM help to prevent or stop customer churn and to raise revenue?
Sure. So basically, if you sign up for a plus service, right? You sign up for any plus service you want, you're watching your content, you're happy. And then, a few days later, you saw that this is, someplace else. Oh, I don't have to pay $20 a month. I can pay $5 a month for off a site that's doing piracy for profit. So piracy for profit is one of the biggest problems in the industry. It's not so much the smaller personal piracy. I mean, a lot of these sites that run out there who are aggregating content, who are actually pulling directly from the CDN because they're doing token manipulation and a few other things that are really hurting your cost structures, that cost them nothing, and they run them like real businesses. They have real customer service, they have real sites. So basically, sign up for a service and then terminating your service after a month is a larger hit to that basically to that online offering than that client acquisition. So, and And a lot of that also goes into more sports. Basically, there are more sites out there that are showing these streams, and they really don't have the rights to do that. But they're like, listen, it's a sporting event. You know, we're going to throw up a site for a day or two. We're going to get the, you know, these ad impressions, and we're going to tear down and rebuild. And it's protecting that you know, that a brand new event. It could be a concert, it could be a sporting event, but at the end of the day, those eyes off of your portal, if it's paid wall, if it's ad driven, if it's both now, that's still the investment that you made to, basically to have those eyes on your portal.
And what future will we have, like, let's say in 20, 30 years, what kind of entertainment technologies will we see?
So, I mean, eventually, yes, you know, I see a lot more in virtual reality. I don't know what form that's going to be. The headset market may be not the best thing, because as we all seen over the years, like TVs that were 3D TVs and you had to wear glasses, you know, people really didn't like that. They didn't actually had to wear something. The VR headsets now, they're getting more comfortable. They're not as cumbersome. People are more willing to use them, but is that going to be the final approach? Who knows? You know, in 30 years, you know, we might have you know, a more of a you know, multi-camera room with projectors, and we're just sitting and we're, you know, enjoying it without having to put anything on our bodies, without having to do anything for it other than just truly watch it. So that's what we're all hoping for eventually, is that little holodeck experience from Star Trek.
Is there something important to mention? Because maybe we didn't discuss some important topics. Maybe we forgot to speak about something.
So, I mean, so what I always, I mean, talk to customers about, at the end of the day, they always worry about price, and, you know, price shouldn't be the barrier. I also tell them, you know, all this should be forward thinking. Your needs yesterday, your needs today, and your needs tomorrow change every so often. And the idea is to be able to pick your partners and be able to, if you need to, interchange certain components of that workflow as your needs grow. And you know, what you may have launched with on day one, after 2 years, your content's changed, your users have changed, your model has changed. You want to make sure that you can, you know, help preserve what you invested in, but just change the small pieces that you need to keep up and grow.
Well, thank you so much, David. It was very, very interesting. And I wish you an amazing day and good luck.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.